For the latest in strategic affairs, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click the bell icon for updates.
Indeed, India has stepped up its efforts to help Sri Lanka. It's one of its closest neighbors. The relationship, as you know, has been up and down for various reasons for the past 20 years. And in the past couple of years, Gotabaya Rajapaksa, as president, was trying to restore the relationship. But because of the COVID-19 pandemic, not enough exchanges took place between the leadership. Although India has stepped up, as I said, has given nearly $2.3 billion worth of help, $2.3 billion worth of help through various means. There is a short-term or soft loan. There is $500 million in that $2.3 million to buy diesel and oil, petroleum products. There is another 500 million given for buying essential food items or importing them. And there is now a demand from Sri Lanka for one more tranche of, say, $1 billion or $1.2 billion to tide over the current crisis. But this crisis is not going to end like this. And what the president told me was his major worry today is that the international sovereign bonds, which this country has given, in the financial markets, they are up for repayment nearly $1.5 billion in the next couple of months. Now, as you know, the sovereign bonds are not with the financial institutions, but they are with private equities, private financial institutions, banks, and they are calling in the debt now. So that is a major worry. Of course, Sri Lanka has now decided to go to the IMF for debt restructuring and also get a bailout package from the World Bank and the IMF. But that will still take time, 2-3 months. This 2-3 months or 4 months are going to be very crucial and very painful for Sri Lanka.
And President Rajapaksa did mention, as your tweet says, that India is ready to provide more assistance if needed in the near future.
Oh yes, India, I think, will have to step in through various means. Maybe it will postpone the payments or repayments that India has due coming from Sri Lanka. That may happen. India may even send diesel and petrol. But as you know, even India is import dependent on petroleum products. And given what is happening in the war and the prices going up, it's going to be a very difficult situation. And bilateral loans don't work. The president was telling me it has to be an IMF bailout package. He was trying to avoid it. Earlier governments have tried to avoid it. But because of those decisions, and I want to point out to you, Amitabh, and to our viewers, that Sri Lanka's governments have been profligate over the years. Even if you take just last 15-16 years, the public debt of Sri Lanka was nearly 90%, 91% of the GDP in 2006. Then from 2010, when 1 year after the war ended in 2009, till about 2014-15, the economy boomed. So the GDP grew from 2006 figures of about $34 billion to go to about $79 billion in those years. So consequently, the debt, public debt, which includes the sovereign bonds as well as the foreign exchange payments that had to be done, that came down to about 71%. But post 2019, again it rose to about 94%, and in 2021, the public debt has gone up to 119% of the GDP, which no country can sustain. And that is because governments have taken loans indiscriminately without thinking of the consequences and the repayments that will become due over the years. So that was already accumulated debt. Coupled with COVID-19, some wrong decisions in cutting back taxes like VAT, the value-added tax, and other taxes, which President Gotabaya Rajapaksa did as soon as he took over in November 2019. All that has now come to bite Sri Lanka severely. And that is the worry, that it should not default on these sovereign payments. So IMF seems to be the only saving grace, or maybe only bailout package will save Sri Lanka from its current crisis.
As you said, the president mentioned that bilateral loans and swaps don't really work, and IMF bailout is what will be looked at in the near future. But excuse me, but what's the status vis-a-vis China? Because we read a lot about Sri Lanka continuing to take loans from China to pay off old loans.
Yes, in fact, I was even studying that. So, surprisingly, China and Japan both sort of hold 10% of Sri Lanka's debt. So, China has certainly, because it has certain influence over the island nation, it has managed to take away some land in the important infrastructure projects when the payment was not done. And I think the period in the previous government, that is from 2015 to 2019, the public debt increased, the foreign exchange reserves plummeted, and therefore the current government of President Rajapaksa and his brother Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa had a very difficult time to recover from what had happened there. Even they were responsible for it between 2006 and 2014, but it was added to it by the previous government. And now China, whatever loans they gave, they are asking it back. But maybe China will also bail them out as India has done. But the other sovereign bonds, as I mentioned, is not easy to repay, and that is the major worry for the government and for the people. They don't understand all this. Common people don't understand all this. They only look at what is happening currently. So they are blaming President Rajapaksa. They are blaming him for his faulty policies of forcing farmers to go in for organic fertilizers rather than chemical fertilizers. That also affected the output of the crop in Sri Lanka in the past 2 years. And as I said, tourism has completely become almost non-existent as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. So, double, triple value for this country, which depends so much on its natural beauty and the tourists who come in to enjoy themselves.
A lot to be done to get Sri Lanka's economy back on track, like that train that just passed by you, Nitin.